everybody. I know, whoa, there's the sound coming in a good pitch. I know you might be kind of comfortable where you've gotten seated, but on this snowy, kind of cold day, I wonder if some of you in the back, like 4 rows, would be willing to fill in more up this way. Like say, see Marilyn right there, from her on up. People could come in front of her and fill in the front more. I'd love that, because then I would just not feel so lonely. Well, the topic for this morning is, we are stepping out of time. We are on our journey to our true vibrational address. You think so? Have you been feeling that? So, for our first song, we're going to have a wonderful blessing by Renee, and I'm going to have the children come up in just a minute, but I wanted to have a special welcoming time too. I know some of you are here that haven't been here for a while, and maybe there's some new ones. I wonder if the new people would be willing to raise your hand, and let's see. Okay, there's a couple new people. So there's something that we want you to know, and I'd like our veterans, the people that have been here for a long time, to send your energy toward these new people. And like, you could even put your hands out toward them and realize that you're seeing them through your inner eye. And we want to say to you, welcome, welcome to unity, because we recognize you and we see who you truly are, the spiritual image and likeness of the divine. You are a unique emanation of love and beauty and divine intelligence. Indeed, you're a one-of-a-kind, magnificent, brilliant, unfolding genius. You are. And today we get to celebrate your very existence. We get to celebrate your infinite potential. And we want you to know that we appreciate you and we thank you for being here. So we welcome you to our spiritual home, which could become your spiritual home. And we want you to feel this invitation from all of us to come back anytime and celebrate here with us. We're just so glad you're here. Thank you. And now I want to welcome all of you. I called you veterans. I want you to look around and smile at me and be aware of the dynamic good that is happening in our world right now. And it's happening in and through you all the time, if you've got the eyes to perceive it. So I hope that being here today will open the eyes of your heart, and you'll start to feel the vibration of goodness inside of you. So we'd love to welcome Renee up now to do a blessing for all of us, and especially for the children. So are there any other kids here under 18? Would you mind coming up here? Would you like to come up? Because there's a special blessing we'd like to do with you with a feather and music. Want to try it out, huh?
So this is a condor, quill, and tarp. My teacher, Tito La Rosa, had a dream of this instrument and made one. Being South American, I guess condor feathers are a little easier to come by. And since the condor lives most of its life flying in the air, metaphysically, it's about bringing blessings about into your heart. So the large part of you that is cosmic, it's about bringing that energy right here to your body.
Let's have the teachers come up too and have a blessing, special blessing for the two teachers too. Tasha and Marla. Bless you kids on your way out to be with your teachers and have a wonderful time. Thanks for being here. You get to have a special time, a playtime with your teachers. I have a reading for us that comes from the Agape Church, Michael Beckwith, down in LA. And the first part of it comes from 1 Thessalonians 2, verse 17, that says 3 simple words: pray without ceasing. And the title of this reading is Moving from Victim to Victorious. So allow yourselves to center in this moment. You can have your eyes open or closed. And allow that golden silence to envelop you and to feel the author's meaning in these words as I read them. I'd like you to inhale and release. And breathe deeply as you enter the quietude. The truth is, if we are breathing, we are praying. Every thought, word, and action is either moving us into a place of expansion and empowerment or into one of constriction and obstruction. The first feels like a place of unlimited possibility, while the second place feels heavy and burdensome. So either you're trying to create through your own willpower, striving and struggling to make it happen, or you are aligning with God, the power that creates worlds. That makes you feel energized, unlimited, and compelling. We must ask, where are you praying from? Where are you praying from? And what are you praying for? Our power comes from consciously choosing our perception of this question: is life for me or against me? Your life will become a living demonstration and answer to that question. To create a life of joy and peace, look at the 2 steps that affirmative prayer gives us and follow that gratitude. The 2 steps are our recognition that God is good and our unification with that God of goodness. As you enter into the high vibration of goodness, then love and beauty and intelligence and creativity will abound in you. Declare your oneness with it. You will be set free from any seeming limitation. With that powerful perceptual shift, you'll stop fighting everything and everyone, for there's nothing to defend, only more life to express. So ask yourself, what do I stand for, not against? No government, no law, no principality can change that which is eternal and real. Our strength lies in our compassion and empathy as we serve others. People all over our country right now are realizing this exact truth. No government, no law, no principality can change that which is eternal and real. And our strength lies in our compassion and empathy as we serve others. There's nothing more fierce than unconditional love. Living from this truth, life flows through us in the most profound and astonishing ways. This is what moves us from feeling powerless to power-filled, from being a victim into a victorious life. So it ends with this affirmative thought. My unending prayer, my continuous prayer is to be a channel for peace. As I surrender to God and to all that is good and true, I will be compelled into right action and stand forth as a beacon of grace and gratitude and hope. And so it is. And can you say amen with me? Amen. Aren't those good thoughts for the times that we're living in? I'd like to go into another wonderful musical chant that Renee can lead us in. What have you got for us, Renee?
This is a Plains Indian song. I think we sang this last time I was here. It's called Good Where We've Been, Good Where We're Going To. And the first part, it's pretty simple. You can sing along here. Oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 good where we've been, good where we're going to. Good where we've been, good where we're going to. Oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 good where we've been, good where we're going to. Good where we've been, good where we're going to. Oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 hey.
Now that you've got it, let's stand up and really get into it.
Good where we've been, good where we're going to. Good where we've been, good where we're going to. Oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 good where we've been, good where we're going to. Good where we've been, good where we're going to. Oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 good where we've been, good where we're going to. Good where we've been, good where we're going to.
Remain standing, if you will, and let's have a moment of invoking even more, invoking Spirit to be with us. I invite you to turn deeper within in this moment and to feel there, deep, deep inside of you, in your heart, in the seat of your soul, there's a divine celebration happening right there in the very center of your being. Because the center of God is everywhere and the circumference of God is nowhere. So the sense of the celebration that is happening cosmically is also happening at the very core of your being. There's a huge party going on in this universe and on this planet, and it's time that we humans catch up with it again. All of creation is dancing for joy. It's a celebration of such love and harmony and peace and abundance and well-being. The plants and the animals and even the tiny microcosmic beings know it. We humans need to avail ourselves of it. Feel it right now in the core of your being, the celebration of life that's bursting forth as the birds are singing in the spring and the daffodils are popping up and the horses are running. From no thing to become the very existence of everything. Creation has come forth out of nothing. And so we choose to be grateful, so grateful. At this stage of our evolution, we get to consciously choose and participate in this dynamic celebration of love that allows us to be grateful for our existence. Do you feel grateful right now? Let's begin right now to be more and more grateful for our lives. Grateful that we exist at all, that we have these precious human bodies right now, and especially that we exist during this amazing time of the great turning on our planet. As we understand this instant right now, this present moment, it's a new starting point for lives on this planet. A new starting point that's been set in motion by the sacred wording and the music in our prayers this morning, and by our prayer warriors that hold vigil every Monday here in our prayer room. This word is being spoken forth right now, and it's a vibration. Can you feel it? That allows your life to start again right now in this moment. And it's a new beginning with love and beauty and harmony and abundance for your life. It's the beginning in this moment of the rest of your life. Anything that would hinder, deny, or obstruct it is dissolved right now, because I say so. And the word that is spoken in harmony with divine law is so. So I lawfully name this meeting that we're in right now, this meeting as whole and complete and a magnificent soulful fellowship in which we're going to wake up to a new level, to the vibrant, divine, spiritual camaraderie that we have that's so important to us, that we came here for. And from this moment on, we proclaim together that all things are working together for our individual and collective good. Do you agree with me? Yes. All things work together. Let's say it. All things work together for our individual and collective good. Yes. And without the diminishing of the whole, not one iota, we can soak in more and more goodness. We don't have to worry about it running out. It's flowing right now, and so we let it be. Soak it in. And so it is. Amen. Before you sit down, turn to one another and say, I'm so glad you're here.
So this is a sacred word from the Kashaya Pomo, Northern California, by Elder Lauren Smith. It's called Weya. And Weya means nurturing, healing energy. And Lauren would sing it to people who would come to see him for healing. And when he would sing the song Weya, or sing the word Weya, sometimes it sounded like a march, like a call to arms, and sometimes it was like a lullaby. So I invite you to sing the word or hum it to yourself. And as you do, just feel the vibration in your throat and your chest, and see yourself in perfect, optimum health. Mental health, emotional health, physical health. Now as you're weighing out to yourself, you can send the energy to someone else who's in need of this energy, nurturing, healing energy. Just see them in light, covered in light. Maybe they look enthusiastic, inspired.
We appreciate these indigenous, Native American songs like this from all over the world because they are a vibrational frequency that's drawing us into a zone of the infinite, the eternal. That's what we're going to be talking about today. How do we get to that zone and dwell in that zone? The poet Rumi, he had a journey to go through to get to that realm. He went through a lot of sadness and angst over losing Shams, who he loved so deeply, to get through to that realm of peace and harmony and comfort. And he has written so many beautiful poems about how to guide us there. And I've asked Anya to come and read one of those poems for us today. It's called Moving Water. So feel into this as a bit of guidance about how we can move through difficult times into that infinite space.
Good morning. All this technology, I don't know. Moving Water by Rumi. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. When actions come from other dimensions, the feeling disappears. Don't let others lead you. They may be blind, or worse, vultures. Reach for the rope of God. And what is that? Putting aside self-will. Because of willfulness, people sit in jail. The trapped bird's wings are tied. Fish sizzle in the skillet. The anger of police is willfulness. You've seen a magistrate inflict visible punishment. Now see the invisible. If you could leave your selfishness, you see how you've been torturing your soul. We are born and live inside black water in a well. How could we know what an open field of sunlight is? Don't insist on going where you think you want to go. Ask the way to the spring. Your living pieces will form a harmony. There is a moving place that floats in the air, with balconies and clear water flowing through. It's disappeared. Infinity everywhere. Last line. Infinity everywhere, yet contained under a single tent. Infinity everywhere, yet contained under a single tent.
They're beautiful words, aren't they? Oh. Well, feeling a river running through us that carries us with ease and grace. That's what we'd like to feel, huh? That it's not a struggle. That all abundance is available to us and that all of our needs can be met. In fact, that all the needs of people all over the world can be met. That place of oneness with eternal goodness and eternal justice and eternal giftedness. I want to take the offering more toward the beginning here today instead of at the end, because we have a special ending for you. And I want to ask the people that are taking the offering to go ahead and start doing it as I talk to you. We have been getting for the offering about half of what we need. Pay for our child care per month, which costs about $500, our teachers. Somebody else could take on the $300 a month for our audio-visual taping and filming. Somebody else could take on our rent, which is around $600 a month. What could you do? What can you do to help out? You know, there are a lot of expenses. Those are just a few examples of it. We're excited to have recently hired a secretary, Roxy, because we really need help in organizing things. And so anyway, there's lots of expenses, including paying me something and paying the musicians every week. So we need you to make this possible. So what can we do if we're only getting half of what we need? You know, we can, you know, sometimes people don't realize this, but whoever comes every week is where the only money comes from. No money comes from anywhere else. So I have to talk about it once in a while to let you know. And what we're going to do is have a bulletin now that Roxy's with us. We're going to make out a paper bulletin and not have it every week, so we're not wasting paper, but once a month. And we're going to put in there lots of fun things, like maybe some of the prayers, some of the poems, and then announcements and the groups that are going on, the timing of things, and announcements in the community. And then also something about our finances, so that you can keep track of it with us, so that I and the board won't be the only ones that know. So that you can keep track of your gift back to you. Back to you. Whatever you give, it gets doubled or tripled or quadrupled back to you. It's amazing, the law of giving and receiving, reciprocity. So, Renee, you have another song for us? Ooh, what a sweet blessing. Thank you so much, Renee. You know, we come here to talk about who we really are. Do you agree with me? All the world's great spiritual traditions tell us that every human being is born with an open connection to the divine and to eternal dimensions, with remembrances to our deep past and knowing our future. We really are timeless beings. And yet, as we live in time, we slowly seem to close down to that deep connection. We begin to conform and our dreams close down. Sometimes we even forget where we go at night when the spirit leaves the body to refresh itself and connect with other dimensions and other souls. I have to admit I feel really blessed because that didn't happen to me. Maybe it didn't happen to you either. And if it has happened, this is a new moment, a new beginning, because the dream time is picking up. It's calling us again. When I was a child, I had many dreams, and I was blessed and lucky to live with adults who honored that. And when I woke up in the morning, they would listen to my dreams. When I played during the day, it was safe to be outside in nature, and I could, go out all day long and be with the animals, but even the sprites and fairies that I saw. And when I told my grandmother about them, she believed me. So I was able to transcend the limitations of time and space and travel to other places in my nighttime dreams to accomplish transformations and healings, travel to other dimensions. And that's what's happening in this great turning, that we're all called to start remembering that we can do this and that we've got to do this. And we've got to stay grounded in our ordinary reality and do this activism now, so much work of manifesting on the earthly plane. We've got to have this really strong balance going on between the dream time and ordinary reality. We've got to live fully in the other dimensions where we can go and contact the ascended masters. God knows we need help right now. The ancestors, the animal guides, and the inner teachers simultaneously. We have to proclaim and be happy to say and to look at one another and say, I am a multidimensional being, transcending time all the time. Right? Just look around at each other and look at each other and realize you are all multidimensional beings, transcending time all the time. When you were born into this body as little divine human souls, you knew everything. And you know what? We're still connected. We're still connected to those Akashic records, to that glory that we came in, trailing streams of glory. And if we haven't listened to that and honored that enough lately, I challenge you to wake up. It can be an awkward place to dwell in this multidimensional consciousness. And sometimes we've had to learn to shut down, right? Because we've got great sensitivity going on when we're in the multidimensional consciousness. Have you felt that way? That you have great sensitivity and sometimes you actually have to protect or guard yourself so that you can survive. In our dominant culture sometimes such openness, knowing so much, has required us to hide, to feel some protection from oppressive judgments that other humans may have come at us with. But I hope that you've not had to shut down completely. From a young age, I know that I have been both dreaming and then setting out to build structures in this world that have come from my dreams. How about you? Now is our time, really, more than ever, to be building these structures in ordinary reality that come from our dream times. And we each have structures to build. We each have sanctuaries to create. Whether it's just one-on-one with other people or small groups of people or out in the community with activists, we each have sanctuary that I know you are doing this and that we have to create even more actively right now. And as we are going between the dimensions, We have to learn not to get too attached to the structures that we create in ordinary reality, right? Because they come and they go. So I'm sure that you've learned that through letting go of relationships, letting go of houses, letting go of jobs, letting go of forms of all kinds. Structures come and go. And we've got to come out of being caught up in the games of the external world. We've been taught that we've got to do money, do fame, do acquisition, feel competitive and jealous in relationships. But I know that many of you here, most of you here, have probably been really practicing moving beyond that. Moving beyond when somebody says something that slights you, this kind of hurt that makes you angry and lash out. We're trying to move beyond bolstering our ego, because that's pretty misdirected. We've got to really be listening these days to our internal guidance system, to our inner truth, and get very, very detached from protecting our ego. When you think about the words I'm saying, and you think about some of the things that are happening in our world right now, we are the ones that we've been waiting for. Because we are the ones that have got to return to listening deeply right now to our internal guidance systems until they become a very reliable compass again on a daily basis. Every night going to sleep and being given instructions, and every day getting up and doing what we're told, what we've seen. When we go into the dream time, it's a place where we go to play and work things out from our third dimensional day. We eventually go through the fourth dimension into a deeper, calmer place, to home. It's like an internal single candle flame that's beckoning us in our deep unconscious. It's an amazing place when we get there in our dreams. Just think about it for a minute. When was the last time that you got beyond a dream that was just about working out the activities of the day, and you got into a really deep place, an amazing place where you met with great beings? Jesus, Mary, Archangel Michael, Chief Seattle, Kuan Yin, Metatron, your own grandmother or grandfather. Have you seen them lately? In that fifth dimension, when we get through to there, we all gather around the same table there. Have you been to that ancient fire circle in your dreams, where there's no separation? When we go into the dream time and separate from the material world, we experience the oneness, the timeless union with all that is. Then when we wake up and come back into the body, we pass back through that fourth dimension astral aspect again. But a lot of times we wake up to the external world really quickly, maybe even to an alarm clock, and it seems like all the noise rushes in of our daily life, and it can blot out those eternal dimensions. But we need to make it our commitment to remember the eternal space when we come back into this realm. Maybe you haven't felt like you were a very good dreamer. But don't judge yourself, because even a slight, tiny remembrance of the dream time is an important thing. So even if you just remember one fragment of a dream when you're coming back into this space, value that. Look at it as very precious and think about it throughout the day. A Native American friend of mine of Dene lineage back in New Mexico, Larry Littlebird, one time he said to me, "I see you. You're one of those bridge beings, bridge builders." That was a really good feeling to be seen for who I really am. And it's important that we all be these bridge building beings right now. That we see one another and see who we really are and name it to each other. I see you. I see you. I see your multidimensional beingness. I see that you're a bridge builder. Wouldn't that be great to just name that to each other and acknowledge that to each other? Bridging betwixt and between the dimensions is now more important than ever. Being a bridge person requires that you keep awareness in both realms all the time. The dream time and ordinary consciousness simultaneously. This can be kind of challenging because the reference points in the dream time are different than this third dimension. You know what I mean? There's symbols in the dream time that we've got to grok and understand. So the bridging doesn't happen easily necessarily of bringing it into language. That's why we have art and music. We've got to find ways to use our hands and our voices and our bodies to bring through from the dream time things that need to come through in ordinary reality. So I want you to think about your life right now and just think, how are you doing that? How are you bridging the betwixt and the between? There's so many ways to do it. I've spent much of my life working on how to communicate the information from the fifth and sixth and seventh dimensions that I get to go and travel in back into this third dimension. And so it's been my work to create safe and sacred places for people to be able to experience those dimensions themselves in safety and to be able to remember the difficulties, the pain, the obstructions that have come along and heal those places so that the obstructions are removed and we can then more freely journey into the dimensions where there is a great potentiality for who we are. So let's talk about the dimensions that we travel into. You hear me say fifth, sixth, seventh dimension. Dimensions. The habit of thinking and feeling and behaving what we know of as the third dimension is going away right now, folks. Everyone is shifting into a fourth dimensional consciousness and experience in various ways. And then many people are shifting into a fifth dimensional consciousness and experience. However, most people on this planet may not be prepared for this shift, but it's happening nonetheless. And for those of us who are aware of what's going on, it's not going to be necessarily an easy or comfortable experience. Yet it can be a wonderful, enjoyable time as well on this planet. With some basic information about what the shift is and what dimensions are, and with simple tools to help manage our thoughts and feelings, everyone has the ability to evolve our consciousness and move gracefully and joyfully into these higher vibrational realms. Do you agree with me? So if you don't know what the dimensions are, you're not alone. Most people playing the game of life as we know it have been taught that the third dimension is the only one. And we're not even given a rule book to explain how to play the game really well in the third dimension. So much of human life seems like we've been creating things to distract us from the true reality of our multidimensional selves. Why is that? You know, it's really weird that we would spend so much time and energy into creating all kinds of things that would distract us from being from knowing who we really are and knowing the purpose of our evolution, which is to go into this fifth dimensional and further spaces. So we've been hearing lately through the last few years, especially since 2012, the word ascension. You've been hearing that word, ascension. It's been given many meanings in the spiritual and metaphysical community. The meaning of ascension that I'd like to use for the purposes of our talk today encompasses the raising of our awareness and consciousness into a whole new understanding and practice of being able to exist in many dimensions or places at once and stay true to our own nature and our own form. You hear what I'm saying? So that's what ascension means, being able to practice going to these other dimensions and still stay true to our own form. Quantum physics has proven that our thoughts create our reality, right? And that everything is energy vibrating at a certain resonance. A dimension is a gathering of a particular resonance, with the edges of that dimension overlapping into the edges of the next dimension. You hear what I'm saying? So the third dimension overlaps into the fourth, overlaps into the fifth, etc. Now let's talk about each of these dimensions. I'm going to talk about the third, the fourth, and the fifth dimension in a little more detail, just to be clear about what we're talking about. The third dimension gives us the physicality and experience of having a dense body. But the programming starts at a very early age in this reality to remind us just of our physicality and our biology. And science does a really good job explaining third dimensional reality. But for centuries, Western society at least has told us that the third dimension was all there was. So the third dimension is not simply the realm of things, like the chair, the podium here. It's not just physical form. The third dimension is a resonance of very dense reality. And it's structured in a very conditional patterning of mind and perception, where cause and effect operate. It's not very flexible. If you do that, that will happen, you know. And don't you remember growing up that you're taught a lot about cause-effect, you know. Punishment, too, comes in there, you know. If you do this, that will happen. There's consequences. So this is the structured, very conditional, dualistic reality that we've been brought up to value. And we've been taught that it's very solid and not changeable. And so we tend to hold other people sometimes in a very stuck perception. Like if they did that to us then that's who they are. They're just bad and no good and not going to be with them. So we hold people, too, in this structured, third-dimensional, reified construct. But as we move from the third dimension into the fourth dimension, into our sleep, it starts to loosen us up, doesn't it? It starts to work our tightly structured thoughts about reality and free us up to maybe we can fly. Maybe we actually become one of the people in the ordinary reality that we didn't like, or maybe we're interacting with them in a different way, you know? So in the fourth dimension, let's talk about that. Now, the fourth dimension could be conceived of as in the movie The Matrix. The fourth dimension is where operational headquarters resides. It's the first stage of the dream time. And the difference there from the third dimension is that things happen in a different time configuration there. You can be any age, and there are people from your past, they're different ages. You might see your father as he looked when he was young. So you find that what you think during waking time is often what you do get in the astral plane, but time is altered there. Space is altered there. But if you have a lot of drama in your ordinary life, then it will be amplified in the fourth dimension. If you have a lot of fear or hurt or sadness, anything that you attach your strong emotions to in the third dimension will be amplified in the fourth dimension. That's why we have nightmares. That's why, we're working out things that we've emotionally attached to. So we've got to be careful what we anchor our thoughts to in the third dimension, what we bring strong emotions to attach to our thoughts. Like we say, I don't like what just happened. And then you can go to, I hate that. Or I don't like that this person just said that to me. I don't love them anymore. Those are strong emotions, and we've got to be really careful what we attach to our strong emotions to the thoughts, because in the fourth dimension, it's the collective unconscious, like Jung called it, and when we get really stuck on certain ways of perceiving things, we connect up with other thoughts that have been thought by other people in all time and space in the fourth dimension. And we are gathering a lot of power there to reify, to make more solid these thoughts in the collective unconscious in the fourth dimension, okay? So no matter how heavy and real and stagnant our painful thought forms have seemed, the truth is that what is really happening in the third dimension is passing away. In the third dimension, things are always changing, and we know this. Time moves on. Time as we know it is always ending. Time is not what it seems. Cause and effect are not so set in rock. So we've been deluded that in the third dimension that they are so solid, but in the fourth dimension, it doesn't go away. The fourth dimension does not fade away like the third dimension, so it's very important what we do there. And now the fifth and sixth and seventh and on from their dimensions are eternal. The fourth dimension is more dependent on collective unconscious and human thought forms and worldviews, but the fifth dimension is eternal. The fifth dimension is above or outside of time and space. So the existence of a body in this dimension does not include dense physical reality. However, it does have the capability of form that is perceivable to others in the fifth dimension. You've heard me talk about my near-death experience when I got to see these beings from the fifth dimension, and they had form. They had a physical type form, but it wasn't like our human form, but they were able to hold a form, in other words. But the good thing about those who would destroy our memory in this reality, those who would distract us from who we really are, they are trapped in the fourth dimension. They cannot go to the fifth dimension. This is very, very important information. Time and space were created to have a physical incarnational experience, and at one time many humans enjoyed this experience on earth of great harmony until it was hijacked in this thing we call the fall from grace. And when that happened, there are beings that remained in the fourth dimension to perpetuate that separation and that delusion, and to help make us forget who we really are. But they are trapped in the fourth dimension. So from this basic description of the third, fourth, and fifth dimensions, you can deduce that it's a preferable place to exist around Earth in the fifth dimension. Our spirit is the essence of the source that is incarnated into the physical body. Our spirit is always connected to everything. It is connected to the fifth dimension, to our oversoul, to the consciousness of Mother Earth, to the consciousness of animals and crystals and all human beings on the planet. Our oversoul has many aspects that have experiences in all the dimensions. So we are connected to all the dimensions. Ascension involves being aware that we have access to our multidimensional selves and expanding the connection with those other parts of us. So what does it really mean to ascend to the fifth dimension while we're still in these physical bodies? Let's get a little more real about it. In prior lifetimes before the fall, when the human body and the fourth dimensional matrix-trapped consciousnesses were trapped into forgetting and limitation, humans still had the capability of time traveling with their consciousness and fifth dimensional body. I think that's why programs on TV are popular right now about time travel. There's one called Time After Time. Have any of you watched that? No. So humans are always fascinated with time travel because it actually has been possible for humans and is possible. The physical body could be put into stasis if one wished to travel inside of time. If one wished to travel outside of time, we could be gone from what seems like a week in the experience, but only a second may have passed in the physicality here on Earth. So I worked with shamans once who said to me, we're only going to be here in Berkeley for about 6 months, 3 women. They said, because we're going back to a place in Mexico where our bodies can be very still, because we're going to be traveling in the fifth and other dimensions beyond there for a long period of time. In fact, you may never see our physical bodies again. So the goal, at least for some people in this lifetime, is to return to the skill of being able to use these certain techniques to access the wisdom and experience of all of our oversoul's experience while still existing in a third dimensional body. So when your vibration is raised with intention and through the changes that you make in your life, parts of the fifth dimension and the higher dimensions become available to you. When your vibration is raised, this is what we're talking about, ascension. So this heightened sensation and capability can be created, and we describe it as making miracles or magic. This is what happens when you're an ascended being. You know, we think of the ascended masters. Hey, that's the call on us to go there, where the ascended masters dwell, and to make miracles, to make magic. And just a little aside here, you know, the poisoning that's occurring of our planet through things like HAARP and CERN, CERN, have the #1 goal of keeping humans from being able to ascend. The prison matrix, like we hear about all these prisons that are being built more now and now. Well, there's a prison matrix that has been imposed on us, and what a brilliant plan it was on whose ever part to steal the energy that we need in order to create and survive and live in the greater harmony. But the divine intention is what's playing out, really and truly, in so many ways. And don't you think that there are millions and billions of people on the planet who are getting ready to exit this prison consciousness? Really, the prison door is being flung open right now, and the clarion call has gone out to all those who wish to hear it. Do you agree with me? Do you think that's happening? So I want to just share in closing that these 3 tools that we can use to dwell in the 5th dimension more and more. What people are realizing now about how to evolve is that we are not taught these tools in our typical Western educational system. So you probably heard them, you taught them, but make sure to be teaching them to other people. So just 3 today. One is really know how to manage your energy. Now, if you understand what is happening in and around you and how to manage your energy, you can step away. You can choose to step away from the issues or the blockages in the external world. And you can maintain yourself in the energy field of the 5th dimension. There's a place where you stop and you start, and you've got to know where that is. You've got to not be merging with other consciousnesses so much all the time, or things that you're presented with on the media, or things that other people say to you, that you know where you are at all times. This is what managing your energy means, okay? Do you get what I'm saying? You've got to know where you start and where you stop. For example, if we use the concept of a rose, you stand in your center, and then you can create, just maybe close your eyes and try this with me for a minute. Imagine you standing in your center, being grounded in yourself, and then create an image of a rose on the edge of your auric energy field. And see this image of the rose going 360 all the way around you. As if you're standing in a theater with a screen that goes all the way around you. And the rule is, to manage your energy, is to stay on the edge of that rose. Don't forget that you're not the rose. So feel into that right now. Feel yourself smelling the rose, turning around, touching the rose. Feel its velvety petals. Maybe feel its thorns. And then come back to your center. You are not the rose. So this puts you into present time. And you can choose from this centered place how you want to interact with the rose. Many of you are very empathetic. And you feel into things. You feel good or bad. You feel... You run into someone else's emotions through your body, in your families, in your couple relationships. You get too much in each other's space. You get so you cannot distinguish yourself from your feelings or from their feelings. You run your experience through others. And you get confused. Do you know that? Do you agree that you do that sometimes? So you've got to individuate and be able to stand in yourself and know your own energy, and then know where your edge is. Then you can make true choices about how you're going to interact. And the second thing is grounding. You hear this term a lot, but it's such a very important concept right now. We've got to energetically understand how to establish our alignment right now, all the way down through our spine into the center of the earth, because so much is happening. So much is going on right now, shifting all around us and collapsing, that we've got to spend time every day grounding ourselves into the center of the earth. Emotions are magnetic, and so your emotions will attract things to you, and then thoughts are electrical. But this electrical energy of the thoughts running all around can siphon off our energy. So you've got to be able to ground thoughts, ground this electrical static energy. feel your emotions, but then be able to dispose of them too. Be able to move away from anger, sadness, depression going on all around you, and ground down into your essence self and into the earth. Okay, I'm just touching on this real briefly, and it's a big practice, but that grounding right now is so important. We need to let go of any kind of identifying with time and limitation and pre-existing conditions. This is the third thing. If you think to yourself, I'd like to be in the fifth dimension. I would like to experience ease most of the time. It's possible. We just have to let go of time and let go of limitation and let go of our attachment to pre-existing conditions in any particular moment. I had a dream once where spirit beings were showing me I just had to stop worrying about things and lean back on this cloud. And that this cloud would be there for me. And it felt so easy and so graceful. So that's how we move from the third and fourth dimensions into the fifth. It's easy and graceful if we just let go like that into that kind of trust and heart-centered, beautiful place of ease and grace. The Navajo call it the beauty way. So I said that our topic today was about timelessness and letting go of time and stepping out of time and realizing that we're on this journey to our true vibrational address. So I hope that you see through what I've been talking about that how we understand the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the fifth dimension is what helps us to understand how to move between them, how to not get fixed and stuck, but to fluidly move, like Rumi said, like water into the infinite. Because we are all on our way to recognizing that we do dwell in the infinite, in the eternal, all the time. And that our goodness and all fulfillment are not far from us, but are right here, right now. My good is happening right now. My good is happening right now. Let's say that together. My good is happening right now. My good is happening right now. In fact, all good is happening through me right now. All good is happening through me right now. Thank you. Thank you for saying that out loud and for letting yourself hear each other's vibration of saying that. Because just hearing that is the kind of thing I'm talking about. We have to be saying these things to each other to really get it, that it's true. All good is universal. It is happening everywhere, all the time. There's no personal good. There's only the good of the universe, of spirit, of creator. And that good is happening all the time. It's seeping through you. And if you allow yourself to channel this universal eternal good, you will be personifying all that is good. You know the metaphor of how each individual ice cube represents all water? The ice cube is not separate from the water. It's only distinct in that particular pattern. You know what I mean? So you are with the eternal all the time. And the good that you are seeking, think about what good are you seeking right now? The good that you are seeking. It is happening right now. But the trick is that the right now is where it's happening. It's not happening in the past. And it's not happening in the future. It's only happening right now. The limitless, the eternal, has no relationship to time. Limitation does not exist in the divine mind. It has no relationship to pre-existing conditions. Do you hear what I'm saying? The eternal is eternal and timeless. If you sometimes think about time and time frames as you see limitation and you think about your pre-existing conditions and you get impatient and you say, why hasn't it come yet? Why don't I have my prosperity yet? Why don't I have my healing yet? But that's not the question to be asking, really. We get so mad at pre-existing conditions. We lash out and we feel angry that things haven't changed yet or manifested. That thought is a way to lock us into time and into limitation. And if you pray and beseech God from that mindset of separation, of time, of pre-existing conditions, then you're reifying the not having. We have got to lay aside any limitation whatsoever and step out of time now. Your mind tends to think this can't be done. It thinks it's going to be difficult. For example, the political scene, the way it's happening right now, we say, how can good things happen? And we maybe are spending too much time thinking about the bad things that are happening. In any moment when you begin to feel that your need is met, that everything is working together for the universal good, then in that very moment, when you assume that, it is happening. And you enter into this dynamic sensing of the good that is happening right now. And we're not supposed to be concerned with how, but just to tap into the frequency and vibration of the eternal present moment, that the good exists and is already happening in all of creation. So it can create anything that is necessary. You know, we've really got to get this. I've got to get this. And I think what we need to do is bracket our monkey minds, our surface mind now, and just not give over to them very much at all. When our surface mind starts taking us off in different directions, stop it. Just stop it. And say to yourself, I'm going to let my higher consciousness take over here. Try to catch it right away and go to that place where you know that where 2 or 3 agree, it shall be done. And call a friend and say the higher consciousness words to them. If you're struggling with slipping into the stuck place, call somebody and say out loud the higher consciousness words. I am unlimited. I am not limited by conditioned reality, by the things that we're seeing around us, and I am existing in the eternal right now in the 5th dimensional consciousness. That is where we are all about to go. Indigenous peoples have been talking about this for a long time. When I lived in New Mexico, the Hopis and the Navajo said that their ancestors went through times when they went from one dimension to another. They went through a portal, like they call it the Sipapu, and you can go into a kiva in New Mexico that they built underground, where you have to go through a tunnel to get through to it, to represent that humans have done this before. And we're doing it again. We are going through a Sipapu, we're going through a hole into other dimensional consciousness. We are going there. And so how do we get there? We've got to master the alchemy of how we get there by doing our shadow transformational work that you always hear me talk about, and get unstuck right now from our past wounds and our ways of perceiving stuff. Because our journey to the eternal, to the all good, is happening right now. And it's a pathway that's unfolding out before us. It's a path of heart. And we are headed toward at-homeness here on earth all the time. Have you felt any moments of at-homeness? Just think about it for a moment. When have you felt a moment of at-homeness here on earth in your 3rd dimensional physical body, when you've been in the 5th dimension at the same time, and you felt at home? Just for a moment, picture where you were. Have you felt that? What was happening when you felt that certainty of home? That timelessness right here in the 3rd dimension. I want us to be very present to the possibility that we can live that way all the time, of being aware of the 5th dimensional consciousness in the 3rd dimension. This is really what's happening to human consciousness on planet Earth. We're being called to the present moment, only moment, and to be present with our eternal selves right here and right now. That's really all we need to do. Rather than just talking about it and trying to get it across to you through talking, I want now to take us into the 5th dimension. We've been having short forays into it right now, so I'm going to ask Renee to come forth again and with another musical interlude. Now that I've brought this to your consciousness, let yourself go there in this moment, into the eternal, into the infinite, into who you really are, into your multidimensional consciousness self. He's going to be playing some, and then I'm going to lead you in a guided meditation to go there into the 5th dimension. So relax, breathe, Take a deep breath. Feel your hips on the chair and feet on the floor. Inhale. Exhale. I want you to lay aside what you're thinking about. Lay aside any worries, any cares, anything that you have been thinking about needs to get done. Just let everything go. And know that this moment is your moment of all goodness, eternal connection. You don't have to be concerned about any how, or any when, or any pre-existing condition. It's all happening right now. Take a long, slow, deep breath and enter into your prayer. Enter into your new beginning right now. Enter into your union with God, with Spirit. Let the surface mind thoughts subside. Go to where the universal mind is laughing. Rejoice with it. The universal mind knows no lack. Let all fears subside. Let go of worry. And let go of time. Let go of time. What does it feel like? Timeless, eternal moment. It beats in your heart. It thunders through you. Feel your heart start jumping for joy. Let your face feel how happy it is to be this eternal, multidimensional being. It's not in some future moment. It's not in the past. It's in every present moment, in the now, as you participate with it. You are in a timeless, eternal moment where all good is happening now. Feel it. Feel it in your body, in your heart. The eternal knows no death. So why should we be afraid of death? In this present moment, see yourself passing from time into the eternal and back again. Betwixt and between, you're a bridge-building person, back and forth between the eternal and the body. Back and forth, you travel easily with ease and grace. You're so thankful for this incarnation, for this physical body in time and space, because it's an opportunity to be expressing your artfulness, your creativity in form. It's so beautiful. It's all a tremendous opportunity to be playful, to let go of this and that, and to form this and that. In the beginning, God said, "Let there be," and it was good. That's what we're doing right now. This is our new beginning right now. This is your new beginning right now, the beginning of your life with this present now moment. What do you need? What has it been that you've been waiting for? Now. Now is infinite intelligence. Now is divine enthusiasm. Now is health. Now is abundance. Time is not what it seems. Time is not what it seems. Allow the instant demonstration of truth in this new beginning, normal moment right now. All good is happening right now. Say this with me. It's happening right now. 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 We are passing through this membrane where time and circumstances have governed our perception, and we are moving into the fifth dimension where we are co-creative artists with spirit for the good. Revel in this awareness and this transcendent joy. Take the hand of the person next to you right now. And just feel how thankful we are to be in these bodies. If you have to reach over an aisle or something to touch somebody, as you're touching other people, just feel the goodness of our human form and our human bodily connection. And let's say this together. Yeah, I'll say it first and then you say it after me. I am here to practice timelessness this very day. I am here to practice timelessness this very day. I take a vow to practice stepping outside of time into the eternal. I take a vow to practice stepping outside of time into the eternal every day. I come out of limitation, out of time, into this eternal present moment right now. I come out of limitation, out of time, into this present moment right now. Give the hands a squeeze that you're holding. Be thankful for this opportunity that we have. And let's just say one last thing together. I love my life. I love my life. My life loves me.
My life loves me.
I love my beautiful creations.
I love my beautiful
My beautiful creations love me.
My beautiful creations love me.
I love abundance.
I love
Abundance loves me.
abundance loves me.
I love my life.
I love my life.
My life loves me.
My life loves me.
My life loves me.
I'd love for you now not to get in a big circle, but to come up in a big clump up here. We have one final fun, wonderful experience for you.